Brian Keolana, living on the west side of Oahu, Makaha, born and raised. Yeah, so, being brought up at Makaha Beach, my father was a park keeper there at Makaha. And my whole life is always seeing the ocean and the beach, giant waves and all that. And my father, being a park keeper there, would rescue everyone that would come to the beach and just, yell for help, or you see him in trouble. And he was actually the first appointed lifeguard, to Makaha, by Neil Blaisdell at the time. He was the governor back then. Anyway, yeah, so, lifeguarding back then was, when we talk about old school, man, it was just real raw of, what lifeguarding was all about. Because, when you listen to my dad about going up to someone and telling them, hey, don't grab me because I'm going to knock you out, that's what was taught back then. Because it was a life and death situation where if the person grabs you, you're going to drown, you're going to die. So they protecting the employees by teaching them, like, hey, try to calm them down if you can, and try to, get them in safely. But if your life comes in danger, knock them out. And that's how it was back then, So anyway, we've grown far from what that is. But, remembering when I was a kid of how my dad used to work, where all they had was this small yellow tin can with just Band-Aids and gauze rolls and just medical supplies. They had no oxygen unit. It was a minimum of what they had. Fins, a rescue tube, the cans back then, hard cans, and rescue board if they're lucky. They would use their own surfboards, if anything. But again, the rescues back then, man, it's crazy. I mean, all surfers know the watermen back in the days, they had no leashes, and some of the rescues, they would swim out, and to come back in, they had to swim 5 miles to tow that person back in, because they had to jump in a current, and they had to read the shorelines back then. So, for me, those lifeguards, those pioneers like my father back in the days, were true watermen, because they understand the ocean, the currents, and in order to survive and to save someone's life, they really had to know their entries and exits and the whole coastline. I heard stories back then, where they would wipe out and save someone and had to swim, from Laniakea all the way down, try to get inside of Haleiwa. And if you get caught in Haleiwa, sometimes the current running the other way, you got to swim all the way down, So, that's the kind of things and stuff too that we have to appreciate the past, So for me, being a lifeguard, I'm firmly grounded. I tell a lot of the guys, I know who I am because I have one foot in my past, where I'm grounded. But I also have one foot firmly in the future, where I understand all the future stuff. But I'm balanced in the present because that's what I live with, both the future and the past and stuff too. And having the foundation and the knowledge of what my parents or my father has taught me, and all the latest technology of what we have right now, I utilize every information possible to try to save a life. So, that's the future of lifeguarding, not just in Hawaii, but worldwide.
My name is Guilherme Tâmega. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I came to Hawaii first time in 1988. That was my first winter. I started lifeguarding 3 years ago. Before lifeguarding, I always been a professional bodyboarder. And after my bodyboarding career started diminishing and stopping, I look, my options in the future, and I said, you know what? I think lifeguarding is the best fit for me. And I love help people. I love my passions in the ocean. I was born and raised in the ocean, so it's in the ocean I want to be. So putting everything together, lifeguarding was the best choice I've done. On the North Shore, we have 8 towers total, starting from all the way from Kualoa, almost east side. We cover from Kualoa all the way to Haleiwa, so it's 8 towers a total. Yeah, first thing the lifeguard do when you get to the beaches is see the hazard. We gotta assess the hazards of the day. Yeah, it's really important to the people when come to the beach. If you in doubt, you have any question, please come to the tower, please. We're so happy when somebody come over to us and ask whatever you want to ask, you know, especially when it's water related. This is Hawaii, okay? You come here, you gotta respect the place, you gotta respect the environment, and of course you gotta respect the ocean. When you're dealing with the ocean, you gotta know what you're doing. Please come to the tower. We're more than happy to steer you and to educate you. You know, we're gonna tell you about the current, you know, about the size of the waves, which sometimes doesn't look big, but it is big. You know, there's a lot of current and other things involved with the ocean, especially in Hawaii. So please come to the tower. The Lifeguards is gonna help you. And so we can have a great day and you go back to your family and we don't have trouble. The key of a good lifeguarding is the preventative. We prevent a lot. You know, you got to prevent before it happens. The rescue doesn't mean the type of work and if the beach is dangerous or not, or if the lifeguards are working or not. The rescues doesn't mean anything. What it means is the type of job, the type of work the lifeguards are doing, which preventative is the key, is the best type of work a lifeguard can do. Is stop before it happens. The job of lifeguarding here on the North Shore is pretty complex. So if I'm working a pipeline at Ehukai, that means I have a huge responsibility to, if the thing happens, I need to be prepared, I need to be ready. That's why there's a lifeguard has a 1 hour break in the morning and a 1 hour break in the afternoon. Strictly to training. You gotta train yourself, you gotta be prepared. You never know what's gonna happen. So to work in this stretch here, you need to be prepared. You know, it's not just, I work there, no. If something happened, you gotta do it. Our job is to try to save their life. We respond, we do everything we were training and taught. We're gonna pass to that person, that unconscious person. We're gonna try to revive him. We're gonna do our best. But if it doesn't work, if he goes in an ambulance, take him to the hospital, the guy doesn't make it, you know, we did our best. It's not, so this is a really delicate situation. Some people some workers, some lifeguards can really feel about the whole situation, some others don't. I'm the type of person that I'm pretty good at leaving the work at work behind and go home, try to refresh myself and be ready for my family, my kids. And I've been through some pretty heavy, gnarly situation here already. And when I go home, yes, things start like, doesn't go away that easy, that quick, but I try. I talk with my wife about it, you know, I try to put everything out, you know, try to clean, refresh as hard as best as I can, but you know, it's part of the job. You know, it's not an easy job. If you want to be on the North Shore of Hawaii, you know, you got to be up to the task. You know, it's not an easy thing, you know, you got to be prepared for the worst. But doesn't mean you gotta put your guards down. Don't you ever put your guards down, because when you put your guards down, that's when something's gonna happen. Main priority is the water. There's people in the water, we gotta watch that person all the time. Yeah, he's fine. We have a great team here, a great team of gnarly lifeguards, you know. I'm very happy to see the teamwork we do here. Old school, the old lifeguards that bringing a lot of good stuff to us, which is, you know, the newer guys. And the newer guys bring a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, and with all mix it up, we form a great team. I'm very fortunate to, when I got transferred to the North Shore, I got to know and meet all the legends of the lifeguard here in the North Shore. You know, guys like Rob Dorr, Matt Sack, Pipe, you know, Mike McHale on Sunset Beach and Perry, Johnny Angel, you know, Fred Booth, Brandon here in Rock Piles, Jesse King, you know, Tinity, you know, Jason Beetzer, Dave Wassel, Mikey Bruno, you know, all those legends, you know, great lifeguards, and I'm very fortunate to know, meet, and learn from all these guys, you know, all through these months and years I've been here, and it's been awesome. And one of the main reasons I became a lifeguard as well is the health lifestyle. The city, the department give you 2 hours a day to train and be prepared. So, you know, and I look at that, I was like, great, this is all I need. You know, you have an hour, you gotta go. So go do something productive. Be ready, be prepared. You know, prepare your body, prepare your brain, prepare yourself for the worst. You know, and the North Shore is heavy, it's not easy, you know, and you gotta be ready. So those 2 hours, I don't take for granted. I use it as the best that I can. You know, my first break, I always do a workout, which, you know, can be running from here in Keiki, you know, do some sprints on the soft sand, you know, push-ups, 100, 200, 300 push-ups on the, you know, alternating with this run, you know. Another day, go up the hill, the trail behind Pupukea, go run up in the hill for an hour, come back, you know, doing sprints and pulling as well. Summertime, wintertime, run all the way to sunset, you know, jump in the water and swim back, put the fins on, swim back as fast as you can, you know, going through waves, and then body surfing at the end of the workout. There's a Junior Lifeguards Association program every summer. We try to, not only the Junior Lifeguard program is an awesome program for the kids to learn and be safer and a better waterman, especially live in this community. There's all this type of workouts that you can do, you know, be creative and prepare yourself for the worst, you know. Never put your guards down and be a great lifeguard. You know, life is good, be healthy, and we're here to serve. We're here to serve the community. We're here to serve the tourists. This is our job. I love this job. I love being a lifeguard, and I love to serve the community.
My name is Cullen Chestnut, 35 years old. Grew up in Kona, Hawaii, graduated from Konawaena High School. Been a lifeguard for 6 years now, working Sunset Tower today, and it's a nice day. Well, we have got towers from Kualoa to Haleiwa, you know, and we're responsible for the whole North Shore and then all the way down to Kaneohe Bay. You know, the older guys with more seniority, they'll have assigned schedules and they can kind of choose where they want to work. Coming to work and being able to work with our friends is, you know, there's that camaraderie is there. It makes the job, you know, environment, you know, a happy, a friendly, and a stoked to go to work, you know. Waimea Bay can get really busy with a big swell, and then managing, you know, keeping the tourist out of the water. You know, and then you have an inconsistent swell, and every 10-15 minutes there's a huge set that comes in, you know, life-threatening, you know, shore break or, you know, large surf. And so, you know, you've got to manage the beach depending on what, you know, the swell and the weather and, you know, which beach you're at. You've got to manage it effectively. People show up to the beach, you know, and they're not, you know, educated about the North Shore and the high surf we get all winter. You know, do preventatives to basically keep them safe. So we got to go talk to them. You want to educate them. These are the hazards we have. Perhaps, you know, provide a safe alternative. You know, go here. The waves are going to be smaller. You know, we're on the North Shore in the wintertime. You know, this isn't for swimming. This isn't for beginners. You know, it's dangerous. There's life-threatening conditions. Yeah, so just talking to them, educating them, you know, warning them about the hazards we have, and then, you know, try to provide a safe alternative. I'm going on 6 years. This is actually my first winter on the North Shore. I worked the east side for 5 years. Sandy Beach, Makabu'u, Hanama Bay. So we've got our fins, which are, you know, a necessity. Even if we want to use a rescue board to go get someone, you still want to put your fins on in case you lose the rescue board. And then also take a tube with you. This is our, you know, standard lifeguard tube. You basically swim up to the person, hey, here's a tube. You want to hand it to them, you know, wrap it around them, secure them. They can hold on to it and float on their own with this. You know, and then there's a strap, so you can strap this around and kind of pull them in, you know, if the current's strong. But yeah, this is our standard tube, fins, and then rescue board. And then of course, these days we have the, you know, the rescue crafts for high surf. You know. Yeah, so there is definitely a sense of urgency with our job, you know, where all of a sudden we're cruising and hanging out and, you know, watching the water, eating lunch, and then, you know, something happens. There's a situation, the waves are big, someone gets knocked unconscious, or basically we have to go respond. And so, yeah, it's like, you know, it goes from 0 to 60 miles an hour. And most guys are pretty good with, you know, turning that on. And you got to go do your job, basically. And, you know, looking back at certain things, like, whoa, that was pretty gnarly. But when in the heat of the moment, you're like, okay, I got to go get this guy. And you kind of just go and do it rather than sit there and process like, oh, it's huge. You know, there's some risk assessment involved. But for the most part, we go and respond, you know, and it's, you know, most guys just flip it on. It's go time, so to speak, you know.
My name's Ryan Phillips. I'm from the North Shore of Oahu. I've been lifeguarding for 12 years. I got into lifeguarding right out of high school, and prior to that I was into the junior lifeguard program. You know, the junior lifeguard program is just a great stepping stone to becoming a full-time lifeguard. It just kind of teaches you about what the guys do on the beach and just kind of gets kids excited about being a lifeguard. So for some, you know, they go through the program, it's just a summertime activity. For others, they've taken it and gone the next step, which is becoming a full-time lifeguard, and a handful of us have done that. The guys that have paved the way for us out here, of course, there's Eddie Aikau, you know, Butch Van Arsdalen, you know, all the old timers that we've, you know, paved the way to where we're at today. So, you know, I worked alongside with Mark Dombrowski, Abe Lerner, Rick Williams. A lot of the guys have been around for 25, 35 years. So they've seen a lot, and they've also passed their knowledge on to us, younger, newer guys. Our team is everything. Your partner is your backup. He's your lifeline. So if you're going out on a rescue, you know, you got to know that you have a solid group watching out for your back in order to make sure you come in with a victim. My job description is with the jet ski these days. I work 3 days at Pipeline, 2 days on the Waimea side of the North Shore. And we have 2 jet skis that are responsible from Kaena Point to Kaneohe Bay, so pretty much half the island. But the main bulk of our work is between Sunset Beach and Haleiwa. Sure, you're a lifeguard for a handful of years and full-time. The department will release an announcement for a tryout. So I tried out to be a jet ski lifeguard, and I got in alongside about 10 other people, and 8 of us graduated, and here we are today. And I love working at Pipeline. It's exciting, it's in your face, there's so much going on, it's so dynamic, it's crazy. Waimea Bay is also another one of my favorites. When it's going off, it's super, super, super fun. You're always doing rescues, you know, it's adrenaline rush always. You know, after a long day at work, you just want to go home and just relax. It's tiring, you got to rest up for the next day. We work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and sometimes we do overtime. So, you know, you got to just be mentally and physically ready at any point.
Fill me out with your smile, now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame.